Hello everyone, it's Lighthouse Angel Messages. Welcome, welcome. I hope that you're getting off to a great start on your Monday. I hope you have an amazing week full of magic, right? I'm doing a collective reading for just your overall energy, what you need to know for today and what energy is going on so I can get you unstuck, moving forward and giving you that clarity to expand and grow. And the focus of this channel is taking you from zero to hero in your own life. And I started this last week and I'm going to continue it, is that I'm called to deliver a specific message, something for you to think about. Maybe you want to write it in your journal, maybe you put it on a post-it note, whatever, to where you can go back and reflect on it, depending on what's going on in your life at the time. But the message I have for you today is, when you no longer need the world to approve your every move is when you become the author of your own story. Okay? And I'm going to read it again. When you no longer need the world to approve your every move is when you become the author of your own story. Yeah. And so that's just kind of the focus theme that I'm for this part of this message is, create your own story. And what's funny is that I started this reading and then I had issues, so I had to stop. So I'm starting over. So I all these cards I pulled out from the reading. So, I shuffled, they came out. I didn't pick these cards. But with that, what I just read, it's talking about being the creator of your own story. And the card that came out is joy is the ultimate creator. Yeah, it's like stepping in the energy of joy, happiness, right? Embracing your authenticity, finding those divine gifts that are within you, right? That you can use to put out there, and it will benefit the collective, right? It will inspire, it will, I'm hearing it will also enlighten and guide others to create their own dreams as well, right? So there is a stream of love supporting my dreams. Okay? Yeah, and again, it goes back to, don't wake up and need validation or approval from anyone, right? Be the creator. Take your power back and be the creator of your own story, your dreams, right? Because that's where the ultimate joy is creating your dreams, right? Not waking up and chasing approval, chasing admiration, chasing to be validated or loved by others, right? You get that from yourself, creating your own story by standing in your truth, okay? And the next card for the overall energy is the dragonfly spirit. You could be seeing dragonflies. If that's the case, there's something important for you in this message, and it's magic. It says, I embrace my transformation. I encouragingly let go of the past. The magic of nature is in me. I am brilliant and I am blessed. And what I'm getting with this is that, we're talking about being the creator of your own story, right? Not letting anyone or anything dictate how that's going to go based on approval, right? So, and I feel like that was part of your transformation. I think I feel like as you transformed and embraced, your story is when your divine magic started happening. I could be speaking to someone who has spiritual gifts, or you've just come into your spiritual gifts. But we are in Mercury retrograde right now, and Mercury retrograde, if you're not familiar with it, is it's a time where it's a time of self-reflection and letting go. Okay, so if you notice that you're more emotional than normal, or you have old memories that are surfacing up and you're thinking, wow, I haven't thought about that in a while. Or you can have blasts from the past come circling back around because they're being nostalgic or wanting clarity or closure or, you know, or inquiring what's going on, that sort of thing, right? Anything that's coming up, you know, you want to make sure that you take a look at it, if there's any healing, and so that you can release that, you know, grow from it and release it. Because the next card we got is clearing. It says, as a true offering arises, it becomes easy to let go. And again, there's another emphasis here about letting go. So this time right now is about letting go of the past, right? So you can embrace being the author of your story, not something that not the story that everybody of your past created for you based on how they labeled you and kept you small and dimmed your light, right? You are embracing being the author of your own story, and that is creating through the energy of joy, right? And love. But it says, you start to trust that more will always arrive. You shift from mine to God's. Such freedom. Yeah, and that's what's being cleared out. I think it's like you're letting go of the past. You are no more trying to control outcomes, trying to control a narrative, trying to control your agenda, right? You've surrendered and let God guide you so that you can be in alignment with your divine path. I'm getting that very strongly. And through that, you are starting to feel or are already there in the energy of freedom. You could feel extremely just a high level of high energy of freedom or release, I'm hearing. Maybe it's because you're letting go of the past, any past pain, hurt, people, you know, addictions or anything that made you feel caged or holding you back, right? All that's getting cleared out, right? And I also feel like I'm also speaking to someone who's highly connected with nature. You may have feel a level of magic when you're out in nature. You may also get a lot of signs from the divine when you're out in nature, right? But focus on releasing the past, okay? And being the author of your own story, right? No matter, you know, because if you focus on needing validation from other people, right, then that is a warning sign to you that there's something within yourself that's missing, right? Because you should be able to give that love, self-care, and nurturing to yourself while you work with the divine, right? So, you know, when you don't need that and you can give, you know your worth, you know your value, and you can give that validation to yourself, right? That's the true power, right? Because then nothing outside of you can control you, right? No manipulation, you know, you won't, because you are standing in your truth. You are standing in solidarity. You're standing in a wholeness, right? Instead of an energy of lack. Okay. All right, let's see what the compass box has for you and get more information. You know, and, you know, we live in a world where, you know, the loudest gets the most attention, right? But if you really take a good look at it in a higher perspective, it's very hollow, right? And there's no truth in it. a lot of times there is no truth in it, right? But yet that gets the validation. Okay, so stand in your truth and give that love, nurturing, and validation to yourself, right? Celebrate you. Celebrate what God created inside of you that you can pour out to other people that can elevate and inspire others, right? It says, failure is the mother of success. Yeah, maybe something in the past you might have felt was a failure, right? But like I've said before, there are no failures, there's just lessons, right? Anything that you perceive as a failure, it's really all perspective and how you look at it. Are you going to look at it as a failure, or are you going to look at it as a lesson? And how can I grow from this? How can I apply this to my life that is going to grow and expand me so that I am aligned with my highest version of myself, right? Which puts me the closest to the divine. So, don't look at anything as a failure, okay? Look at it as a lesson and how you can grow and apply and alchemize that into power. Power in your life, power in your purpose, okay? It says, dare to be different. Yeah, and I feel like this creative project, whatever it may be, and it's going to be different for everyone, the divine is supporting it. I feel like it's wrapped in a bubble of love. I'm seeing that. But you're daring to be different with this. Like you're not allowing people's opinions or judgments get in the way of this creation or this vision or something that you are trying to put down on paper or put out there. And it's going to be different for everybody. It could be a book, a photography, a YouTube channel, or, social media, or maybe it's artwork, whatever it is, right? Believe in the magic, because I feel like what you're creating now is part of your transformation. It's what was created because of your transformation, which is why it's so important to let go of the past, okay? Because it's no longer in alignment with you. And, more people need to dare to be different, because it's through being different, right? And in aligning with your divine gifts, your authenticity, your talents, right? Your God-given talents is where you dare to be different. It's easy to be like someone else, right? But that's not being in alignment with what the divine has created for you when it comes to your purpose and when it comes to your gifts and your talents. Being like someone else is not going to get you your dreams. Your dreams are on your divine path. In order to be on your divine path, you got to stand in your truth. You got to stand in the light. You've got to stand and dare to be different. Okay? The only place where your dreams becomes impossible is in your own thinking. Yeah. The only place where your dreams become impossible is in your own thinking. Yeah. Don't get in your own way of what you're trying to create here. Okay? And don't let, negative people or outside influences get in the way of what your intuition is and what your intuition and the divine are telling you to be true. Okay? Because our mind can play tricks on us, right? Especially when we have unresolved traumas, wounds, heartbreaks that we haven't healed yet. right? Because those specifically, depending on how deep they go, it can be heavily buried in our subconscious mind. We don't even realize we're doing it. It's just a natural response because of those traumas, right? Which is why it's so important to pull back all those layers, and look at them so that you can heal them and release them as you work with the divine, right? And, I've also mentioned on this channel and other times that, the subconscious mind does play a part in our decision, in our mind thinking, right? Especially when it comes to old behavioral patterns. And maybe you're holding on to something that needs to be released that's in the subconscious mind. If that is your situation, then I highly recommend subliminals. You can find them on YouTube. There's some great people out there, that's all they make. And you can listen to them while you're sleeping, and it kind of like reprograms your brain to think differently, okay? And they really do work. They really do work, so I highly recommend that. If you feel like you're stuck when it comes to maybe a deep trauma, So, yeah, 3 of Swords. Yeah, and that's funny that this came up because that's what I was really feeling. I feel like there's maybe some deep wounds, right? And based on what I'm just saying, whoever I'm talking to, this would be very helpful in clearing this, using those subliminals, right? I'll just give you an example of what it's like. So if you're not familiar, is let's say you were told when you were younger that you were ugly, or, that you weren't beautiful, and, all these bad things about your looks, right? And then, when you're told that, as a child, you slap that label on you and you believe it, right? Because maybe your parents just reinforced it, or maybe the friends everybody reinforced what was being said, right? So then you believe it. And then it's because it happened at a young age and because it was deep, it sits in that subconscious mind, right? And then it plays out in your life. So it's because you don't think you're beautiful, and then you attract people who think you're not beautiful, or you attract people who confirm that, and then everything that you do, just confirms that. You don't even realize that your actions and everything you're doing, it could be even the way you're dressing or whatever, just confirms that belief that's in your subconscious mind. Now, this is just an example, but then there'll be a subliminal that you can listen to that will change how you think about how you look about yourself, right? And so you'll be able to release that pain, right? It's crazy how the mind can work while you're sleeping, right? So if something like that resonates, that you may want to look into that. But, I'm just getting that there's some really dark pain. It could have been from 3 different people, right? Or some heavy pain in the past that you had to clear and let go of. This pain might have been part of your transformation as well. It says, don't second guess yourself. You know the right answer and what's best for you. Make choices that align with your true self. Your intuition is a powerful compass guiding you to what's best for you. Follow that inner voice. It knows your desires, values, and dreams. Yeah, follow your intuition and believe that your dreams are possible, because right here, love is supporting your dreams. They are being supported, so don't let your mind or old thought patterns get in the way of that. Okay? And even though you've been hurt in the past, I'm also getting this, even though you're getting hurt in the past or have gotten hurt in the past, don't second guess yourself. Maybe I'm also hearing like maybe in the past you thought you were listening to your intuition, and now because of the pain, maybe you're second guessing that. The Spirit is saying, no, don't. Okay? Maybe it was just a lesson then, but they don't want you to second guess yourself. Don't second guess your intuition right now. Your intuition is a powerful compass. It knows your desires, your values, and your dreams. Okay? Don't dismiss your intuition to follow a temptation. I don't know, that really came in strong. Don't dismiss your intuition to follow a temptation. Okay? Take that as it applies for you. Let's see. Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. Colossians 3:2. Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. Yeah. Focus on the divine. Focus on the supernatural, right? The unseen. Not on earthly things. All the power, the joy, the love, all of that energy flows straight through the divine, not through earthly things, not through man, through the divine. Okay? So set your mind on what the divine has for you, right? Not what the earthly life can provide for you, okay? Make him be the driver of your boat, because that's where all the blessings are. That's where the peace, the calmness, the joy. It says your self-worth is determined by you. You don't have to depend on someone to tell you who you are. Yeah, and that kind of goes with, being the author of your own story. And not needing validation from others. Your self-worth is determined by you, right? So dare to be different. You don't need someone else to tell you who you are. And once you step into that power, you can be divinely different, right? You can step in your divine gifts, be different, because that's where the magic is. That's where you're going to be blessed. Okay? And some of you may already be strongly on your path with your connection with the divine. And some of you may just be stepping into it, right? But remember to focus on things above, right? Not looking at earthly things to define who you are. Okay? Enjoy today. Yeah, live in the moment. Okay? Don't live in the past. Don't live in the future. It's good to have visions and focusing on what you want to manifest, what you like that forward thinking, but you need to live in the moment. Okay? So that you can enjoy where you are. Every life is a season. The divine puts us into seasons of learning, seasons of isolation, seasons of pure bliss and happiness and joy, right? And then there's seasons of lessons, right? Which is why you have to enjoy where you are now, today. Because you don't want to be, where you are 6 months from now and wish, wow, I wish I would have just embraced the moment where I was at that time, right? Which is why you want to enjoy today and everything it has to offer you, and also being in the attitude of gratitude, right? Being grateful for the day and everything it has to offer you, the magic it has to offer you, right? The love, the joy. As you clear all these things out in your life, so you can make new way for what God is bringing in for you, which is going to be freedom. New travel buddy coming soon. You could be traveling soon. Maybe Maybe you're going to get invited somewhere. But for those of you, some of you are going to be traveling soon. This could be part of your dream, just to travel, right? This could be part of the magic coming in. Okay? Right? Don't second guess your intuition. If you're getting signs from the divine, right? And you'll know, as you surrender and let him guide you, he's going to guide you in the light of where to go, right? You need to trust that. Okay? Even though you've had pain in the past, that's part of the past. Don't sit in an energy of fear. Okay? Don't let the pain of the past stop you from embracing this new level of joy, love, magic, freedom. It says, love is pulling together against all odds. Yeah. And that love is, this love could be a person. It could be a dream, a love that you have for a dream is being pulled together against all odds. Right? And this, I'm really getting like, this is like a new beginning, right? But the divine really wants you to be in the moment, right? Don't be attached to outcomes. Don't be like, well, when is this going to happen, right? We understand divine timing and its importance, right? And honoring that divine timing. And just stay close to the divine. Stay in prayer. Speak to him. When you find that you're especially like leaning back into old habits or something, like trying to control things or trying to figure out outcomes, right? Just know that he has your back, right? He's got your back. Just stay in your truth. Focus on your creative project or your dreams and trust your intuition. But something is coming together. This also could be something coming together that maybe you threw the towel in already, and it doesn't have to be love. It can be, like maybe it was a business or a project, or maybe love in general. Maybe, you've never really had anybody that truly loved you in your life. And you're like, well, I don't know if it's ever going to come in, but well, it is. Against all odds, you are going to get that divine love that you've been hoping and praying for a very long time. Don't be a secret. If they can't mention you publicly, they shouldn't be able to have you privately. If you're a secret, please know that you're probably not the only one. Okay? And I feel like this is connected, who I'm speaking to this pain of the people in the past. Right? Maybe they kept you a secret, but based on their words, they told you you were more than that. No one deserves to be a secret, right? Don't let this hold you back. Because this somebody of your past kept you a secret, right? Just know that if that was the story, okay, that's their own traumas and pain that they're projecting onto you. Because deep down, they know they're not good enough for you. Right? And they know that they wouldn't be able to hold on to you. Right? If they went public, if everybody knew about the situation. So they kept it private, trying to control the narrative in their favor, right? But really, you always had the power because they were just projecting. Because deep down, at the core of them, I think I'm really feeling like they knew they weren't good enough anyway, right? So that's why they had to keep you a secret. So don't let that hold you back from where your intuition is guiding you, okay? We have the letter L, and I'm getting that love. It could just be another confirmation for love. But I'm also hearing this letter L. Take this as how it resonates with you. You know, what's the first thing that pops out for you when you see L? Okay. Maybe this has something to do with your travel as well. Okay. Hope. Yeah, you never gave up hope. You know, despite all this pain, right? You stayed focused on the divine and you never gave up hope, right? Which is why this is coming in now. And for those of you, you know, I feel like it's really connected to these two cards here. There is a stream of love supporting your dreams, and joy is the ultimate creator. And you did all this in faith and hope, looking above and not focusing on earthly things, right? And keep staying in that energy of hope. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on you, right? And choose not to settle where you are. For those of you who haven't started your healing journey or you're just getting started, you know, don't settle for where you are. You don't choose to expand and grow and become the highest version of yourself. You know, you can make that decision not to settle and that you're worthy of more. You're worthy of all of your dreams, the highest level of love, right? You just have to do that inner work, right? And get into the, you know, and seek the divine. Seek God, making him number one in your life and letting him guide you to what he had planned for you, right? Not today, Satan. Right? Not today. Okay. You know, and what I'm getting with this is that if you feel like you have negative thoughts coming back in or old thought patterns, or maybe you're going to get a blast from the past or something like that, you know, you're like, not today. Not today, right? We're not doing this today. I choose different, right? I choose different. I choose to think different. And I choose for a new beginning, a new friends or new environment or new partner or new, right? I'm really getting new here. And allow the divine to deliver the magic, right? Staying in that energy of hope and faith. And because he will deliver that to you, okay? All right, I'm going to get one final card. Let's see. Let's see, I'll get one of these. All right, what's the final message for this reading? Just to close this up. I hope something resonated for you and you've gotten clarity of what you need to know when it comes to getting your life moving forward. Guardian. Okay, we have the dragon spirit. You may have a connection with dragons. It says, tap into your untamed spirit to conquer obstacles and defend what is dear to you. Tap into your untamed spirit and conquer obstacles and defend what is dear to you. And it's funny, we have the dragonfly and the dragon spirit. So you may have a significant resonance when it comes to dragons. But, it's just saying, conquer these obstacles, right, that have held you back, or anything that you need to release here. You could be having a protector or coming in. I'm getting that as well. May not be for all of you, right? You also may see dragons as a symbol of something in this reading is for you as well, or just a confirmation that the divine is guiding you. But there's a heavy significance in dragons here, right? And just stay focused on that energy of love, right? And making the divine number one in your life, surrendering to the journey, right? And enjoying the day for every day for what it can provide for you, and being in that attitude of gratitude, okay? And I hope something resonated with you. If it doesn't, please check back tomorrow. I do daily readings Monday through Friday. So if something wasn't in for you here, check back. There might be something for you there. Otherwise, I'm wishing you a great Monday, and I'm sending you so much love and light. Take care. Bye.